In the summer of 1518, a woman stepped into the streets of Strasbourg and began to dance. She did not stop. Hours passed. Then days. Soon, others joined her, not for celebration, but because they could not control their bodies. They twisted, leapt, and convulsed in the streets, begging for help while continuing to dance. This was not a festival. It was a plague. Over the following weeks, hundreds of people in Strasbourg were struck by the same uncontrollable urge. Some collapsed from exhaustion. Others suffered strokes or heart failure. Contemporary accounts report people dancing until they died. Authorities were terrified and confused. Doctors blamed hot blood and recommended more dancing as a cure. Platforms were built in public squares. Musicians were hired to keep the afflicted moving, believing the condition would burn itself out. Instead, it made everything worse. The phenomenon became known as the Dancing Plague of 1518, but it was not the first of its kind. Similar outbreaks had occurred across Europe for centuries, from Italy to Germany to the Low Countries. In medieval records, the condition was often called Saint Vitus dance, named after a saint believed to either curse or cure those afflicted. Victims were taken to shrines, where priests attempted exorcisms and prayers. No one understood what was happening. Some blamed demonic possession. Others blamed divine punishment. Some believed it was contagious madness. Modern historians and medical experts still debate the cause. One theory suggests mass psychogenic illness, a psychological response to extreme stress. Europe at the time was suffering famine, disease, religious fear, and social pressure. Dancing became a physical expression of collective trauma. Another theory points to ergot poisoning, a toxic mold that grows on rye and can cause hallucinations and convulsions. But this does not explain why the movements followed cultural patterns or lasted for weeks. What makes the dancing plague so disturbing is not just the movement, but the context. These were not performers. They were ordinary people, laborers, women, children. And they could not stop. Crowds gathered to watch. Artists documented it. City records logged deaths. The plague was treated as both medical crisis and public spectacle. Then, just as suddenly as it began, it ended. The dancers stopped. The streets emptied. Life continued. No cure was ever found. The dancing plagues remind us that history is not always rational. Under pressure, the human mind can turn fear into movement, belief into illness, and stress into mass behavior. It was not joy that filled those streets. It was desperation, moving to a rhythm no one could hear. If you want more stories about the moments when history lost control, like the video and subscribe to Past Forward.